Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Love Code on YouTube. Today on the program, we're going to be talking about something very interesting. How do I know if I am sexually compatible with somebody if I cannot sleep with the person? Okay, so we'll talk about that today. Where does this come from now? This question is basically because as Christians, we're not expected to have sexual intimacy before marriage. So we're not supposed to be fornicating before we get married to somebody. So the question then arises, if I cannot do that, how do I know if we are sexually compatible? Is there any way to find out that? I don't want to marry somebody who I'm not sexually compatible with, okay? And I agree with you, because this issue of sexual compatibility is a very serious issue. It should not be taken for granted at all. It should not be downplayed in any way. I'm not one of those people that like to downplay it. It's not something to be downplayed, especially if you are a guy, okay? For the ladies, some of them don't really care, but there are even some ladies who care more than guys about being sexually compatible with them. So, and what do we mean by being sexually compatible? It just simply means that sexually you guys have, same interests and, likes. One person is not on one extreme and the other person is nonchalant about it. So this is very important. The first thing that I wanted to mention is from Luke chapter 6 and verse 45. In Luke 6 and 45, the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the first thing that I would say to somebody who is really interested in this is, you see, when you talk to somebody, out of the abundance of the person's heart, the mouth will speak. So talk about this thing. So if sexual compatibility is very important to you, sit at the table with the person while you're on dates. Some of the questions that you ask would be about sexual preferences, sexual orientation even, right? Because that is important these days. And talk about that. Talk about, the things that the person wants. And you are not committing any sin by asking the question, okay? And talking about it. And let the person express what is in their heart, right? And as they talk, you listen. As you listen, you will see things, hear things that are coming out of the person and that will give you clues. The only thing that you will not know is the experience of it, but you can there are ways that you can interact with somebody and you will see the signs. You will know that this person, these are the kind of things that this person likes or does not like. All right, when you are talking about this, please do it in a safe way, in a safe place. Now, what do I mean by this? You see, some people want to talk about about whether they are sexually compatible or not, and they wait until late in the midnight hour, when they know that the brother is alone in the house, in his own house, and she too, she's alone in her own house. Then they will pick the phone, and under the pillow, then they will start talking, about it. What do you like? Do you like this? By the time you start that, you will get into something else, into another zone completely. Okay, so that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about it in the open, where you are not alone, where you guys are not alone, where you guys cannot get carried away about the subject that you're talking about, because this issue of sexuality can quickly escalate. When you start talking about sexuality, it can escalate quickly. So you want to be very mindful of that. Do it in an open and honest way. If sincerely what you want to really know is what you are asking, so ask the questions in the open. Do you know that you can actually know so much about somebody just by letting them talk? This is one tactic that investigators use, which is that if somebody is on trial or before they go to court or they are investigating a case and they are talking to a suspect, they just let the person talk. They just ask questions, you let him talk. You can sit now and have a conversation with them. You will talk and talk. They will let you go, leave you alone for a few weeks. They will call you in again. They will start asking you almost the same questions. They just let you talk. You will say things, if you are trying to lie, you will say things that contradict what you have said before. They will start picking holes in everything that you're saying. You'll see that certain things will start changing and adjusting, and maybe even you asking the questions sometimes can help the person to come to terms with what they were not even thinking, because sometimes many people are not thinking about some of these things. When people are in a relationship, they are just concerned about how they feel. They are not really asking questions. They are not talking like this. So when you start asking those questions, it will make the person search within to try to find out, what do I really believe about this? What do I really think, about this thing here? So that is also very important. Ask questions. The next thing is, make sure you are asking pointed questions. Ask the questions for which you need an answer. closed-ended questions. Don't just ask, when after all the open-ended questions that you just let the person talk. If the person doesn't give you the answer you are looking for, be pointed. What is your opinion about oral sex? What do you think about oral sex? Ask the questions. That's what you want to know, right? So if you don't believe that it's good, right, or it's safe, or it's a sin, or it's not a sin, ask the person, what do you think about oral sex? Do you think we should husband and wife should do it? What is your favorite sex position? Ask the question. These are good topics that I'm coming up with. So ask those questions. What's your favorite sex position? Do you think that Christians should only do missionary style? What is, those are the things that are inside your heart about sexual compatibility that you want to know. Ask, be direct about it, and let the person give you an answer. The person says, what is missionary style? Then you know that you are from 2 different planets, okay? And that there's, so those are the things that will give you clues, and you don't have to, get into any physical thing to get that, to know those. It's just by talking, listen and observe. By listening to somebody and observing the way they are, the way they talk, the things, their preferences, even in other areas, you start seeing whether the person is shy and conservative or expressive and flirty. When you see those signs, it will let you know. If people make, slightly sexual jokes around them, how do they respond? Right? How do they just go like, what's that? Disgusting. Then you know that, okay, this person's leaning, right? Those are the things that, or if somebody, you will pick up things. Look at the person's interest, which is another one. Look at the person's interest. Look at the things that they read, right? Take a tour of the person's library when you visit. It will give you a clue, because most of the time we read to solve problems. It will give you clues. You will see signs of, what the person likes, how the person, and then the kind of, the way the person responds when you guys are watching movies, for instance, right? If a sexual scene comes up in a movie, how does the person react to it? What are the conversations that come out later on, about that? So those are all those the signs. If you pay attention to all of this, you will get enough information that you need, at least to have an idea of your sexual compatibility before you get married, and you don't have to go all the way with the person to know what it is. The truth about sex in marriage is that God's ultimate desire from the start was that one man and one woman. I always say this: God did not plan for anybody to have exes. That was not in his agenda. His plan from the start was that one man and one woman will come together without any previous experience, without any previous baggage, and then learn together and grow together, learn to know each other, learn to know what each other wants, their preferences. Most of these things that we call preferences and now create sexual preference and compatibility is because of previous experiences, things that we have experienced before that we think is what we like, then we are looking for. That's what leads to that. But that was not the agenda. So whatever the sexual compatibility is, if you are not yet married, it's okay. You can still learn and discover. But if you are married to somebody, and you're thinking, we are not sexually compatible, these are things that can be learned. These are things that you can grow in. That was the plan of God from the start. That you guys learn together, you grow together, you experiment together, and that is the beauty of it. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you do, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on the notifications so that you know when I have a new video out. I usually have new videos out on Sundays at 6 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. I'll see you again next week. Until then, God bless you.